All right, just a quick look at the trunk lid hinges. This is the surface of the two flanges where they connect to the car. This was bare metal. It was rusted. I took the die grinder and got the surface rust off of that. Put 2 coats of Pour-15 on these. You'll never see any of this stuff because the trunk interior stuff covers all this up, but we just want to prevent rust. And up inside the trunk where these things bolt to the car, we put some Pour-15 up there on those points. Again, none of that's, we don't have to be pretty with that stuff since nobody's going to see it. But we don't want it to rust either, so one more coat on the trunk wall over there, and then we're going to bolt these trunk hinges back on the car. All right, we got our weather stripping reinstalled on the car, and of course got our paint job done on the rear channel there. And it looks pretty good. Did a little cleanup work here and there. Still got a lot of cleanup work to do. Gonna need to bolt the hinges back on the car as well. Got a call back. I got a call back from a nice glass shop, professional guys that know how to do classic stuff. So we're gonna have this car sent to the glass shop to have this rear glass reinstalled. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, I'm gonna get everything cleaned up, get these trunk hinges back in here, and get the interior back in here, get the trunk lid reinstalled, so on and so forth. Get all this stuff cleaned up and get this car ready to be shipped off to the glass shop. All right, hinge number 1 already installed. Literally the easiest thing I ever did. That looks like a mess right there, doesn't it? So this rubberized coating was actually covering this hinge and was covering this bolt, or this nut rather. So I'm going to need to find a substitute to cover that. Not sure exactly what I'm going to use yet, but I'll figure it out. All right, we got our interior back in the trunk, and again, that was one of the easiest things I ever did. Need a little bit of cleanup here and there, I think. Got a little stain right there. I cleaned this up with some shampoo and some water here a while back when we did the tank clean out, but I think we need to do that again. Of course, you know, we use this car around here when we're not, you know, trying to restore it. I got in touch with the glass place, and I think up next, we're going to have this car shipped down there and get our rear glass put back in. All right, you folks remember my earlier video about the white mold starting to grow in the floorboard of the Corvette, and it had been sitting in a perfectly dry garage all year? Well, 2021 was probably the wettest year I've ever seen in my life. It rained every day, pretty much all the year. It was ridiculous. And this is what you get. This car hasn't been sitting in the rain. It's just been sitting out here in the shop. And for whatever reason, some of that mold started to start growing on the seat belt. So, all right. Well, the good old trick is just regular old white vinegar. So we'll get after this seat belt with the vinegar and clean this up. All right, today's the day. The glass guy is coming over. Got to move the big old girl out of the way. So we can open up the shop door and move her out. She's right behind that door right there. Reverse. All right, we're getting ready to transport our car up to the glass shop. So I've got this piece of styrofoam that came with the big screen TV in the living room, and you know, I thought to myself, I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm glad I did, because I'm going to put that there, some blankets on that, and the glass will ride back there on their way to the glass shop. All right, just a last minute check here, making sure all my fluids are topped off. Old car is pretty dusty, been sitting in the shop for 3 months. And I think we got her squared away. Got the styrofoam laid down. Got 2 bed cushions from the old girl over there. They came with it, thankfully. And then the glass sits on top of that this way with the ends poking upward. I called the glass guy and asked him the proper way to do it. And the tips of the glass here rest slightly under the armrests on the doors. So, you know, that'll keep the movement from occurring that way. I was a little paranoid about shipping this glass in the back of this car like this, but I think it's going to work out just fine. And I got my few wires here tucked away so they don't fly around. That one's going to dangle in the breeze going down the road, I guess, on the back of the rollback truck. I covered these up with some just some gasket maker type sealant. These, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, to be honest with you. I'll figure it out later. But for now, the old girl needs to get off to the glass shop and just get this project over with. All right, here we are at Bama Auto Glass, Morris, Alabama. We're going to pick up our 300 SD today. And the good people here did a fantastic job. We've already settled up with them. We're about ready to get back on the road and take our old 300 SD back to the shop. They did a fantastic job for us. And this is part of the reason why I entrusted our 300 SD to this particular shop. All right, we're back on the road. We're going to get on over here to the main drag interstate. The old girl seems to be running just fine. And it's a little bit noisier today because all we've got is some sheet metal back there and no seats and no trim and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to put up with a little extra noisy ride back to the house, or back to the shop rather. We're going to get over here to the main interstate and head on south back to impalamansgarage. So we'll see you shortly.
safety